Our top story first is an exclusive, breaking and perhaps developing story. Times Network is confirming that Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah will remain as the state's Chief Minister until the end of his 5-year term. Siddaramaiah, we're told, will handle the sports department and the welfare department too, especially for scheduled tribe issues. Buzz over a possible leadership change, remember, in Karnataka had begun doing the rounds after Siddaramaiah himself had confirmed that he has been called to New Delhi by the Congress High Command in an attempt to hash out the leadership tussle between him and his deputy DK Shivkumar. That meeting, of course, was scheduled to take place tomorrow. But the latest development comes amid growing speculation over a cabinet reshuffle and renewed demands from supporters of Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar for a leadership transition in the state of Karnataka. The Siddaramaiah government, remember, recently completed 3 years in office, reviving discussions around an alleged power-sharing understanding within the Congress after its 2023 election victory. But with the recent development, all signs now point to Siddaramaiah continuing his term and, in fact, completing a full 5-year term as Karnataka Chief Minister. My colleague Imran joins us with the latest from the development.
Well, this is a big development there. In fact, the senior leader traveling with the Chief Minister today at 7 p.m. in a special chartered flight insists that, this was a meeting not called by the High Command, but in fact sought by the Chief Minister himself. So the power dynamics completely changes here. It's not the High Command which is calling the Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister. In fact, it's the Chief Minister himself who sought this meeting after the swearing-in ceremony of the Kerala Chief Minister V.D. Satishan, where he had gone to participate in the swearing-in ceremony. And the Chief Minister requested the special meeting with Rahul Gandhi and the AICC President Mallikarjun Kharge for cabinet expansion. And the Chief Minister wants 15 new ministers to be inducted in the cabinet. He's traveling with the list of 15 ministers, but the High Command has asked him to go for 20, if at all he's going for a cabinet expansion, to go for 20. Whether will that happen, or there's a pressure also being exerted by DK Shivkumar so that before solving the cabinet expansion, solve the Chief Minister issue, that needs to be seen. Now, what we know officially, the Chief Minister sought this meeting. He's got the meeting. Based on that, he's going with the 15 probable candidates list. The High Command wants to go for 20, and the clarity will come if the High Command gives go-ahead for cabinet expansion. The senior leader says that means no change of Chief Minister. Siddaramaiah will continue with a new cabinet expansion. In that scenario, how will the High Command placate DK Shivkumar, and how will they contain his anger? We have to wait and see for that. Even as tomorrow 11 o'clock is a crucial time, stories unfolding every minute in Karnataka.
Well, Imran there joining us with the latest from that leadership tussle in Karnataka that now, by the looks of it, is all seem to end. Moving on to the other big story we're tracking at this hour, temperatures are rising across the country. Let's start with Andhra Pradesh. The state broke its 10-year record this weekend as temperatures soared to 48.3 degrees Celsius at the Chitayala in East Godavari district on Sunday, even as two more stations, that's Pidugurala and Tanuku, recorded temperatures of 48.1 degrees Celsius. The spike in temperatures is not surprising. Climate models have pointed to the possibility of a stronger El Niño cycle developing in the equatorial Pacific. So that means concerns are mounting over the possible impact that a weaker monsoon season could have on South India's agri-based economy. The IMD, remember, has forecast the 2026 southwest monsoon at 92% of the long period average, while also raising the probability of deficient rainfall this year. That has revived memories of past El Niño years like 2015-2016, where rainfall stress hit several parts of the country and exposed the vulnerability of climate-sensitive crops. For South India, the risks go beyond just rainfall deficits. The region's farm economy is deeply tied to water, and heat-sensitive crops, including paddy, coffee, pepper, mango, cashew, and sugarcane, while recent years have also seen rising instances of heat stress, pest attacks, and erratic weather patterns impacting horticulture and plantation belts. Now, even as schemes like the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana and weather-based crop insurance exist, coverage remains uneven across several southern states, particularly among horticulture growers and smaller farmers. At the same time, insurers and agri-businesses are increasingly looking at newer climate risk solutions like parametric and weather index products, even as weather volatility becomes more frequent and harder to predict. So to take stock of how insurers are bracing for possible impact and whether or not South India's vulnerable crops and cultivable land are covered well enough, I'm now joined by Naveen Sharma, Managing Director for Agriculture Reinsurance at EDMI Insurance Brokers. Naveen, firstly, thank you so much for joining us on the Bulletin. My first question to you, with South India's farm economy heavily dependent on crops like paddy, coffee, pepper, mango, cashew and sugarcane, how vulnerable is the region to a weak monsoon and possibly prolonged heat stress this year?
Thank you, Jules. Thanks for inviting on the panel. I'll just give you a brief introduction about myself. So I am not a crop expert, but I look at agriculture from an insurance perspective because I have been an underwriter for crop insurance business for 10 years. So this year, as you mentioned, that El Nino is going to impact, and it is going to be a super El Nino. So we all know that it has a very great impact on monsoon. And the kind of projection it has this year, the South India is projected to be, some of the area will be as high as 3 to 4 degrees from the normal temperature. And every 1 degree of temperature rise, there is an impact of possible up to 10% of the crop, reduction of the crop output. So it is going to be severely impacting, especially in South India, because South India has double dependency on monsoon. One is southwest monsoon and the other is northeast monsoon. Larger part of the Andhra coastal belt and Tamil Nadu is dependent on this double monsoon. And if El Nino year is there, there will be a weak southwest monsoon followed by a delayed northeast monsoon, which will have a greater impact. So it needs to be very, very watchful this year.
Absolutely. Now, Naveen, unlike North India, much of the South's agricultural exposure is tied to horticulture and plantation crops. Does the current crop insurance ecosystem adequately cover these kind of risks?
So the product is largely evolved over the period. But if you look at, especially for plantation coverage, the product, it's not that simply covering the entire thing. Because PMFBY product, if you look at, it is largely catering to the annual crop cycle. Plantation crops are multi-year crop cycle. So that doesn't exactly fit to that PMFBY architecture. But obviously, we have devised weather-based crop insurance scheme, which actually fit to the horticultural crop. But their horticulture crop, the pricing for horticulture crop is 5% is contributed by the farmer compared to other cereal pulse product for which the rate is 2%. So that will be a big discourage for the farmer to participate into. And also from the government side, most of the government, they are quite irregular in notifying the horticulture crop under the scheme. That also we have seen over the period that participation from the small farmer is a bit erratic.
Right. Now, Naveen, states like Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra and Tamil Nadu have seen an increasingly erratic rainfall patterns, especially in recent years. Has that already started changing premiums or underwriting norms for southern markets insofar as insurance is concerned?
So actual pricing model has already started taking care of that. It has been recalibrated over the period because if you look at the last 10-year weather performance, especially 5-7 years, the weather climate has been more volatile and that is taken care of. So even the reinsurer pricing model, they have built a model which is largely forward-looking rather than historical loss experience. So last 30-year data does not largely represent how it is going to happen in the future. So the recent year weightage has been taken care by the reinsurer in the pricing model. So actually has developed that things and the pricing in recent year, we can clearly see that there is an impact of the climate variation.
Right. Now, I want to draw you back to the last El Nino cycle, which saw, multiple horticulture belts in South India see pest attacks and heat-related crop stress. Are insurers now factoring in climate-linked secondary risks as well, not just rainfall deficits, but secondary risks into coverage models at this time in place?
So if you look at whenever the El Nino happens, there is variation in the temperature and humidity. And whenever there is a variation in temperature and humidity, the chances of pest attacks are very increased. And if you look at the reinsurer has started taking care, they have started building up a correlation between humidity and the pest attacks. And accordingly, whatever the climate model projected, they are building that thing in the pricing. So all these things are now taken care of when we are doing the pricing of the crop insurance scheme.
Right. Let's shift focus, Naveen, from pricing to penetration. What we have been seeing is that crop insurance penetration largely remains uneven across southern states, especially among smaller farmers and horticulture growers. Why has adoption remained this patchy despite the rising climate risks that we keep witnessing year on year?
So there are multiple reasons to it. First of all, the notification of the village and crop, even the farmers are interested. We have seen that the notification from the government side under the scheme has been quite uncertain. It is done on the regular basis. That is one reason. The premium, as I mentioned, the premium contribution, the farmer side, the 5% as relative to other cereal products, that is also on the higher side. The third thing is for horticultural product, weather-based crop insurance scheme is more suited, which is slightly complex in nature. The technical perspective is slightly complex, which is not easily understood by the farmer. So a very high degree of awareness program need to be done to educate the farmer to participate under this scheme. So these are the reasons for which the horticulture product participation under the scheme has been slightly poor.
Right. But what's the awareness like, Naveen, at this time and place? Because if you look at South India's plantation and agribusiness ecosystem, and this includes, of course, coffee estates, spice growers, exporters, food processors, is there enough awareness and availability of parametric or weather-indexed insurance products?
So availability is not a challenge. As I mentioned, the awareness need to be focused on. Currently, the way the insurance product is distributed is largely dependent on bank and CSC. Whereas we need to look at in agriculture the entire value chain, like exporter, processor, and whoever is the distributor. We need to involve them in terms of creating the awareness to the farmer. Because bank and CSC, they are not completely catering to the farmer, which is normally situated at very far from bank and CSC. On day-to-day activity, if you look at the FPOs, exporters, the processors, they are more involved with the farmer. So these are better suited channel to create the awareness among the farmer.
Right. Let's look ahead then, Naveen. If the South continues to face more frequent heat waves and rainfall volatility like we're seeing today, what do you think the biggest gaps are that both policymakers and insurers will then need to address in protecting the region's agricultural economy?
South India, the dependence on the horticulture crop is very high. And for RWBCI's product, if the farm is situated from a weather station at a distance of 30 kilometers, the variation in weather parameter is not largely reflecting the kind of loss which will happen to the farmer. So first of all, we need to create the density of the weather station very high, which is actually the one area where we need to focus on. The other thing is creating the awareness. The pricing sides, we need to look into how we can make it more affordable for the farmer so that more and more farmer is willing to join this scheme. And obviously, the one other thing is we need to involve FPO also, because if the pricing is done on the group basis, it is easy for the small farmer to participate into that. So the pricing, we need to involve FPO so that a group level pricing can be done for this to make it more affordable for the farmer.
Right, on that note, Naveen, thank you so much for joining us and breaking down some of these insights with regard to crop insurance itself and the vulnerabilities that exist within South India's agricultural belt vis-a-vis climatic factors and how they could well impact yield going forward. Great having your insights with us right here on South Central.
Thank you, Jude.
Staying with our focus on the climate, the Telangana government has announced a compensation of 4 lakh rupees each for the families of people who lost their lives in the ongoing heat wave sweeping across the state. Now, at least 16 heat-related deaths have been reported across 7 districts in Telangana, prompting authorities to place district administrations and emergency response teams on alert. The worst hit regions include Jayashankar, Bhupalpalli, urban Warangal, Karimnagar and Nizamabad, even as temperatures continue to remain well above seasonal averages. The IMD has warned that severe heat wave conditions are likely to persist over the coming days, with the state stepping up ambulance deployment and medical preparedness while urging people to avoid venturing outdoors during the afternoon. Moving on, HDFC Bank has committed 300 crore rupees in funding to an ultra-luxury residential project in Hyderabad's Kokapet micro market, underlining continued institutional interest in the city's premium housing segment. The project, being developed by DE Blue Oak and P. Mangatram, has a gross development value, or GDV, of around 2,000 crore rupees. The move comes even as developers increasingly turn to structured financing amid moderating housing sales, with Hyderabad continuing to see strong demand in the luxury and ultra-luxury segment. Recent market estimates show that the city recorded over 8,500 crore rupees worth of ultra-luxury home transactions in FY26, making it South India's largest premium housing market. Meanwhile, shares of Narayana Health rallied in trade today, jumping 4.5% after the hospital chain reported a strong Q4 performance and announced a dividend. Consolidated operating revenue surged nearly 76% year-on-year to about 2,594 crore rupees, while EBITDA rose to roughly 539 crore rupees. Consolidated EBITDA margin declined to around 20.8% from 26.1% a year ago, largely due to the integration of the company's UK business and associated acquisition costs. The management spoke to Eaton Now earlier today. Let's listen into a slice of the conversation.
As far as the India geography is concerned, you can see that there is a material growth in the hospital business segment, where we have grown both on revenue as well as on margin. That has come from our organic execution in terms of throughput, in terms of higher configuration beds, higher value procedures, as well as improvement in the cost profile. The numbers you're already aware is about 13% growth year on year for the India segment.
Meanwhile, Karnataka's sweeping revision of minimum wages is set to significantly raise incomes for lakhs of workers in the unorganized sector, with the state government notifying a 60% hike across scheduled employments. Under the revised structure, laborers in Bengaluru will now earn a minimum monthly wage of over 23,376 rupees, while skilled workers will be entitled to more than 31,000 rupees every month. The Siddaramaiah government says the move addresses a long-pending demand from workers and aligns Karnataka's wage structure with Supreme Court directives. Labour Minister Santosh Lad said the revised wages include a variable dearness allowance component of just over 1,000 rupees, aimed at strengthening financial security for workers across sectors in Karnataka. The final notification comes over a year after the draft proposal was first published in April of 2025. Karnataka is now just the third state in the country in recent months to revise minimum wages after Uttar Pradesh and Haryana. The move could have wider implications for labor-intensive industries in the state, particularly manufacturing, construction, hospitality, and services. Businesses, meanwhile, are expected to closely track the impact that the hike will have on both operating costs as well as hiring itself. Meanwhile, the decades-old Mekedattu Dam dispute between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu is back at the center of political debate after Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar said the state would soon submit a revised detailed project report for the proposed reservoir project to the centre. The proposed dam across the Kaveri River has long been opposed by Tamil Nadu over fears that the project could in fact impact irrigation and drinking water supply in the Delta region. Karnataka, meanwhile, has maintained that the project is aimed at primarily securing drinking water for Bengaluru, insisting that Tamil Nadu's allocated share of Kaveri water will still not be affected. The issue has now become an early political flashpoint for Chief Minister Joseph Vijay's government, with parties across Tamil Nadu, especially the DMK, the AIADMK and the PMK, demanding a strong response against Karnataka's move. The legal and political battle over Mekedattu has stretched on for years, with the Supreme Court previously observing that any final approval process would involve scrutiny by expert bodies like the Kaveri Water Management Authority. The AIADMK, meanwhile, is face turbulence of its own in Tamil Nadu politics after 3 of its MLAs resigned from the party and joined Chief Minister Vijay's TVK amid growing signs of internal strife within the opposition camp. The move is being seen as a major setback for AIADMK Supremo K. Palaniswamy, with resignations coming at a time when speculation over factionalism and the very future of the AIADMK leadership continues to both intensify and come under the scanner. The defections are also expected to strengthen Vijay's position politically as the TVK continues to attract leaders and cadre from rival parties following its recent rise in Tamil Nadu's political landscape. My colleague Imran joins us with more details.
Major development, the 3 AIADMK MLAs belong to the SV Velumani faction have tendered their resignation before the Assembly Speaker, that Prabhakar, and have joined the TVK party. In fact, their membership card also been issued, and they've also displayed it on their social media profiles, their membership card for the TVK party. In fact, after their resignation, they met Adhav Arjuna, the senior leader of the TVK and a minister in the current Chief Minister Vijay's cabinet, and they joined the party, and they will likely to contest in the by-election, which will necessitate because of their resignation. They will contest on TVK ticket. A big development for as far as the TVK's number strength is concerned. It has increased by 3, but the ADMK's number has come down, and especially the Velumani faction. We have to wait and see what Velumani's faction takes action on that. As of right now, 3 senior MLAs have resigned, and they've joined TVK party in Tamil Nadu.
Well, moving on to some cinema and court action next. The Madras High Court has rejected bail pleas filed by 9 people arrested in connection with the leak of scenes from Chief Minister Vijay's film Jananayagan, which, remember, was shot and was scheduled for a release long ahead of the assembly elections in Tamil Nadu. The court has taken a tough stance against digital piracy in rejecting those bail applications. Now, investigators have alleged that individuals linked to the film's editing team had illegally leaked footage online in April, triggering widespread circulation of clips in social media and privacy platforms. The case has drawn major attention in Tamil Nadu, given the political and commercial significance surrounding Vijay's film. Meanwhile, most ticket booking platforms, remember, have also received notification of a possible June 19th release date for Jananayagan, which, remember, has been stuck under the CBFC glare, earlier scheduled for a release prior to April itself, much ahead of the assembly election in the state. The film's producers, even though June 19th has been the release date that online ticketing platforms have received, the film's producers are still waiting for clearance from the censor board with regard to when that film's final release date is expected to be. On that note, we've come to the end of this bulletin. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow with more news and market updates. For the moment, it's goodbye from us.